a cutie, she's a queen. She's a queen. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I need her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind until the light that I see in your eyes. My queen, so sweet. I can see your eyes.
going to ask that you all stand for the playing of the national anthem. Or we can sing the first verse. Let's go.
Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. To our leaders, great defenders, grant true wisdom from above. Justice, fruits be yours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love. Teach us true respect for all. Stir response to duty's call. Strengthen us the weak to change. Give us visions lest we perish. Knowledge send us, Heavenly Father. Grant true wisdom from above. Justice, truth be yours forever. Jamaica, land we love. Jamaica, 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 land we love.
Thank you. Please be seated. And before we officially start, I'd like to invite the presence of God with Reverend Kenneth Richards to do, I'm sorry, it's the Reverend, okay. Could you please lead us in prayer?
Good evening, everyone. And as Mr. Raymond Anderson offers himself for presidency, and as he gathers all the delegates from the various football organizations across the country, he's asking for God's guidance, and that's a good thing. It is said that leadership is a person who has a vision, knows the vision, and knows how to communicate the vision and lead in the way of the vision. And of course, as Mr. Anderson asked for prayers this evening, every vision, if it's to be visions built on principle, it is only right that he asks for the inspiration and guidance of the Almighty. So let us just bow our heads in prayer and allow our hearts to acknowledge our Creator, the Almighty and the All-Holy One. And acknowledgement must always lead us to humility as we acknowledge the majesty and the holiness of God. We ask for pardon when we have not acknowledged His presence, especially when we have not acknowledged His presence in each other. We ask for pardon when we have not expressed gratitude for the many gifts and mercies that we receive. And so as we ask for pardon, we now dispose ourselves to lift up our hearts in prayer. And so as we gather, we pray for Raymond and his team. And we ask and implore the blessing of Almighty God to grant him wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and the guidance that he seeks as he aspires to leadership of the Jamaica Football Federation. pray and ask the Lord to bless him with sincerity of heart, that as he asks for prayers this evening, that he will always seek your presence, first and foremost, and especially as he seeks to serve this country. Pray that he'll always rely on your guidance and your inspiration. Our prayer is that he will seek wise counsel from you, O Lord, and be encouraged to move toward that which is good, principled, and just. Pray, Lord, that he'll always act with integrity and a sense of justice. Dispose him, Lord, in your presence with humility, but also dispose him even as he will act with confidence, that he'll not act with arrogance, so that indeed, Lord, your presence will always abide with him. Your Holy Spirit will always remain with him to grant him wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. To help him to discern what is right and good in fulfilling his leadership of the JFF and to lead our country to greater heights. Bless, Lord, the team that will be with him. May they be loyal and supportive, but may they also be undaunting in challenging when he's losing sight of the vision, and may he be humble to accept the challenge and the advice of his supporters. May he also humbly listen to the various delegates and delegations across this nation. May he be inclusive in his leadership. So all that is done, Lord, will truly keep in mind that Jamaica, under God, can achieve great and mighty things when we are united. He offers himself, Lord, in service at a level of leadership that requires clarity, thought, and action in accord with the vision that he will formulate and present. We pray that he will always seek your inspiration and that he will have the necessary support of his colleagues and that he'll be able to garner the support of every federation in this country. Hear, Lord, our prayers and grant your mercies as we now say the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Mr. As you seek to be president, always rely on the Lord, and may your reliance be such that you dispose yourself for his abiding presence to inspire you with the wisdom and the vision to lead this country to greatness.
Thank you so much, Archbishop. Well received, timely, and forms a critical part of what we're now dubbing the RSA mission. This evening is dedicated to that mission, which seeks to drive grassroots development, drive the professional, and drive the national, where football in this country is concerned. Before I ask Dr. Cecil Dennis to come to the podium, I'd like to acknowledge a few people in the room, starting with our presidential candidate, Mr. Raymond Stephen Anderson. Could you give him a round of applause? Could you stand, please? Our vice presidential candidates, Orville Powell, Jacqueline Cummings, Gordon Martin, Donald Beckford, and Keith Wellington. Where are you? Put up your hands if we can see you. Clap them, yes. I'd also like to acknowledge our independent directors, Carol Beckford, Wycliffe Cameron. Just clap them, yes. Outside, working. I'd like to also mention the St. Mary Football Association that's here, yeah. St. Thomas Football Association and CASAFA. Thank you so much. And by the looks of this room, you have some support for this task that you are about to go ahead with. So you heard earlier what the mission is. In reading our candidate's bio, I saw a lot of very positive things, starting with coming from St. Mary. Lots of great people are from there. Yes, that's a good start. And just the level of dedication and professionalism that our candidate carries with him. I am not here to do this task, so I'm going to ask Dr. Cecile Dennis to come to the podium to introduce officially our presidential candidate.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the football family and distinguished guests, today marks a pivotal moment in the history of Jamaican football as we gather to launch the manifesto of a man of integrity, whose name has become synonymous with dedication, innovation, and unyielding commitment to our beloved sport of football. It is my honor and privilege to introduce a visionary leader filled with passion and resilience, and a true stalwart of the Jamaican football arena, Mr. Raymond Anderson. Since 1980, yes, go ahead. Since 1989, Raymond has been an integral part of the fabric that makes up Jamaican football, evolving from a fervent supporter to an esteemed vice president of the Jamaica Football Federation. But Raymond is not just a leader. He is the builder. Raymond the Builder, as many now fondly know him. Today, on the brink of a new era, Raymond the Builder presents his blueprint for transformation in a manifesto that embodies action over rhetoric and transcends fleeting promises to deliver tangible results. Please join me in welcoming a man of integrity, a builder of dreams, and our next president, Mr. Raymond Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm trying to see the crowd with the light, but I just know that I saw some friends of mine, and family members, and some media personnel, some delegates, people from the corporate Jamaica, well, St. Mary. My sister, I saw my sister over there, Jackie, and I'm sure I saw my daughter came in. I don't, sure it's some image like she. Jan, are you here? Well, so yeah, I know, she don't afraid to say daddy, man, anytime, and that's daddy for life, right? So really, good evening, everyone. Doc, I say there, and Chief himself, Sir Will, Chris, both Chris, Strokes and Will, right, they're very close to me. Right, trying still, but friends and colleagues, we thank you to make this decision to join us on what we believe is a game-changing occasion. I come before you this evening with a commitment to integrity, transparency, and efficiency, and to lead a team with the capacity to fulfill the objective we have pledged to pursue. Foremost among the challenges faced the JFF is that over the last 6 years, the Federation have been operating under restricted funding mandate from the International Football Federation, FIFA. Please recognize that the restricted is due primarily for poor reporting and accountability over that period. These have imposed numerous constraints on the JFF to pursue meaningful development objectives. In fact, the Federation have been unable to meet some of its basic obligations, which has resulted in unseemly public dispute with some of the key stakeholders, namely players. The current administration enjoy very little trust among the various stakeholders. Trust is essential to efficient running of any venture. And ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, I want to repeat, trust is essential for the efficient running of any venture. The JFF is no exception of this rule. Trust loss is often hard to restore. Rebuilding trust is almost kind of putting Humpty Dumpty back together. You understand? We therefore have no alternative but to replace this regime. We neither have the time nor the resources to do otherwise. The administration needs to go, not because it is comprised of evildoers, but simple because Jamaica football cannot, and I repeat, cannot continue in this current state. Trust, ladies and gentlemen, impinges on everything we do. Corporate sponsor will not support us, our program, if they do not trust us. That is why the administration has failed to garner any substantial support from corporate Jamaica. The public will not stand behind the team unconditionally in the absence of trust. And our players will not be able to perform to the highest level if they are not confident with the administration. Under the current administration, we qualified twice for the Women's World Cup, but we have done so by overcoming unnecessary obstacles, which were brought about by inefficiency, incompetence, and lack of trust in the administration. This continues even to today, 4 months after we complete the World Cup. 4 months after, we still have problems with trust, ladies and gentlemen. Logically, question to ask is, were you not a part of the administration? Why didn't you do something? My simple answer is twofold. I was a member of the team, but not a part of the inner circle that makes most of these decisions. It is for the same reason why I have put myself up as a candidate for the Jamaica Football Federation president. I want to be in a position where I can make decisions based on reasons assessment. Also, I have a close-up view of JFF operation. I am not new to football. I will not need any form of apprenticeship, period, once I become president. I knew what it needs and have the team to make it happen. I'll tell you more about the team sometime later. Working with and all the stakeholders will ensure that the achievement of 1998, 2019, 2023 serve as a catalyst for the development of the beautiful game in our beloved Jamaica. Let me be clear, we will build on anything and all the policies that are beneficial to the football program that may exist now. We will not be in any breaking down to rebuild. Ladies and gentlemen, 2026 present a unanimous opportunity for Jamaican football. And I mentioned 2026, as you all are aware, 2026 is our next World Cup. Now, we will only be required to just be there, play as hard as we can, and we will try. Only thing will happen with us is if we do something drastically wrong not to qualify for the next World Cup. 3 additional spaces are automatically available for CONCACAF teams. This is the best chance we have ever had since 1998 for the men team. But we need the right team, not only players, but administrators as well. There's much to be done, but we are equally to the task. There will have to be a considerable amount of cleaning up and rebuilding, but we promise to retain these policies which have worked for the JFF and ensure that we do that in the best interest of football. I extend an arm to friendship to you all, mindful of the possibility which exists for the beautiful game and Jamaica land we love. Friends, I want to extend and share with you a dream that I have. The Reverend mentioned it, but there we have a dream, and we have long and hard discussion on that dream with my team. So I want to extend a dream that I have. A dream that I have full confidence in achievable. Jamaica is known for a punch way above its weight limit. And we also know that it's facts. Let us not limit ourselves to merely in qualifying for various World Cup. With the talent that abound totally, locally, and diaspora-wise, internationally, I dream of ultimate victory at the highest level over the next 2 World Cup cycles. Ladies and gentlemen, this, I must say to you, is not a dream alone. My team, which includes the slate and the extended team, will ensure that this happens. Yes, I dream Jamaica will win the World Cup within the next 2 years. Let me remind you, this is not the typical political promise. This is a promise that my team as a slate will ensure that it's not only a promise, but we will promise you that it will happen. Don't forget that 4 months ago, we have a team that drew with some powerhouse team, not once, but 2 powerhouse teams. The Reggae Girls. We went to the round of 16. Nobody, or most people, did not know. I didn't believe that they will make it there, but it done. That means it is possible. Friends, yes, we can. Yes, we will go to the World Cup. I urge voters to join my team in the journey of achieving this dream. Ladies and gentlemen, again, and friends, family, this is a commitment from the team that I led, that we will go to the World Cup. I want to say it over and over, and I want to leave here tonight saying it over and over and over again. But I don't know if I should continue, Madam MC, to just introduce the slate, the team. I saw it's too full. Well, before I start, I'll tell you a little thing about the slate, and then I'll just compound on it. When I were thinking of putting myself in the way, not my heart, myself. I went to some of the movers in the football circle, Wayne, Pearson, Mark, Danny, Chris, and some others. And I told them about what they're planning. And before I moved, I said I could not move if I did not get the blessing from CASAFA. And the reason for that is that over the years, and I mean all the years, one of the main problems that we have with the sport is the most successful parish or confederation, always, and not a shot at your mark, but always there's some form of conflicting thing with CASAFA and the JFF. I tell myself that I cannot continue. I cannot really lead an organization where the most successful parish or confed or zone is not in sync or supportive of my organization. So I went to them, and they gave me their blessing. The others gave me their blessing, but they asked me why looking out and in for people. Because where I saw the JFS at, we know that it cannot happen with us alone inside. We need to have people from the in and from the out. So what I done, I went around and I asked of people to serve. Some really were thinking about it, while some give us a resounding yes. and we continue down that line. So we just didn't just pick the slate. We looked for a campaign team. And I must tell you also, getting that campaign team is not only just the slate, but you know you have committees, you have people who you want to work, that if and when you're successful, you hit the ground running. You don't have to wait, some people said 100 days, but from day one, you can start to achieve things because you're there planning going forward. Right, Mr. Wilkes?
Yes, sir.
All right. So allow me, I'm in extreme proud and confident as I present to you the team who will lead the sound of trust, integrity, administrative efficiency, and enjoyment of good Jamaica football. We begin with our vice presidential candidates. And Mistress Jacqueline Cummins Gordon Martin. Hi, Jackie. And before I continue with Jackie, when we spoke with Jackie, Jack said, listen, I know you want us to look at the female side of the sport, but I will be a vice president of the JFF, not only for female, but a vice president. I also want to warn you, if there's any problem, hanky-panky, if you move away from what you have told us, integrity, trust, good governance, I, Jackie Cummins, will be the whistleblower. That's what Jackie told me. I said, Jackie, don't worry. We will comply with everything. So Ms. Cummins bring to the table, she was a part of the Jamaica Football Federation Disciplinary Committee. She's an attorney at law, and a very good one too, because she keeps us in line, right, Jackie? Jackie will bring highly respected legal skill and knowledge of football regulation to the decision to be taken to move the sport forward. With all this, Jackie will also be the person who will have responsibility for women development in all aspects of the sport. Jackie again. Donald Beckford. Danny is here? All right, so Danny Beckford, president of St. Anne Football Association, veteran administrator, and recently he's the general secretary for I think it's the leading club in Jamaica. Correct, Chris? No? No, well, with the champion club, I'm just really want to make sure I choose my words, sir. The champion club, the reigning champion club in the Premier League, Mount Pleasant. He's the general secretary there. Danny will continue his passionate representation on the need of parishes, which we know will be integral in the execution of many of our policies. He will also include grant for parishes. He will also ensure that the parish association mirror what we are doing at the JFF level. We are doing things that compliant to FIFA, CONCACAF. We're going to ask Danny to ensure that our parishes and the other stakeholders comply just like what we have done to FIFA. So Danny's job will be very active to ensure that we're on top of things. Mr. Keith Wellington. President of ISA and principal of the St. Elizabeth Technical High School. I know Keith will be extremely valuable in our very important and game-changing youth development plan. It would be true to say that his experience will be highly valuable in this crucial era. He will also ensure or include education side of the youth, the grassroots development, and the technical side of the JFF. Keith again, welcome. Mr. Arvell Powell. Thank you, sir. Former owner, Montego Bay United Club, and owner of Westpow Park. Arvell knowledge of the dynamic club football and the requirement for the development of club is all here in all era will be beneficial to our team. Arvell also, ladies and gentlemen, in the new PFJL, Arvell was one of the architects in getting the MOU signed from both clubs and the JFF. So where we're at now, with the Premier League, moving from strength to strength, Arvell was one of the architects for that. Arvell will ensure that the infrastructural development throughout the landscape of Jamaica, the zone, and the parishes will be taken care by Arvell. I can tell her, if you call on him now, I'm ready to deal to ensure that I said the lay of the land, he can level the land. So Arvell is the person who will guide us down that line also. Directors, other directors, Carol Beckford. Hi, Carol. Carol Beckford, communication, marketing, public relation specialist, and business of sport consultant. Carol's immense expertise in this era is well needed, especially in improving the internal and external communication of the JFF, and you'll agree with me that. She also, we are expecting Carol to get the JFF marketing department up and running like an oil machine. Dave? He's on his way. Mr. Whitcliffe Dave Cameron, former president and of Cricket West Indies, finance specialist and sport administrator. Still cap him. Not here, we made that clap. I must tell you a little about Dave also though, because you might hear another person somewhere saying, a cricketer coming to football. In some other circle, I don't remember where, but I heard it somewhere. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just on the record, we have two presidents that was in cricket. And we have two JFF presidents. And we are also at present, we have a parish president who is also a president for that parish for cricket also. But I'll just go further with that, ladies and gentlemen, is that some years ago you might heard about this patty shop thing and thing like that. You heard that, and when there was this internal or labor or dispute with players and the JFF. Dave Cameron chaired that committee that put an amicable ending to that negotiation. Dave ensured that players and the JFF come together as one, and we are benefiting now with that, what Dave lead us through. So I'm saying, Dave Cameron is alive. Dave's experience as a sport administrator is wide-ranging, innovative, and visionary. We will benefit from that quality injection in our decisions. Dave will lead us out of the restriction with FIFA. I'm sorry he's not here, but please give him the message for me. He's watching online. He will ensure that we are more accountable and compliant. We need, ladies and gentlemen, in short order, to, when FIFA visit us, they just visiting us different from, oh, now we're on restriction. This restriction costing us to all of our program, or most of our program is on standstill because of the restriction, because of the lack of accountability and the lack of reporting to an extent. So Dave Cameron will lead us in that to ensure that the restriction is lifted in short order. Dave Cameron again. Slate, ladies and gentlemen. As you prepare to listen, please stay, please stay, please stay, please stay. I know you have, please stay. As you prepare to listen to the outline of our manifesto, it will be very clear that the multidiscipline stated is proven performance from within and outside of football. So we have here inside and outside of football. So for us, we believe to grow the sport, we must have people who are outside who can help us to come in and help us, just like any other business. It's a family business, and we own it. Sometimes we might have to get a CEO inside. And the CEO will not just come in to just really dominate, but to help us make more profit or run the company in a more smooth way to ensure that we have profit. So this is what we have done. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart members of my campaign team who have been and will continue to work assiduously in the best interests of Jamaica football. Their commitment to the journey is an example to what we'll need going forward. It has been commendable, and Jamaica football will show its appreciation to you. A lot of you are there. Thanks for that. So I'm appealing to our stakeholders, our voters, to ensure, support us, listen to our manifesto, and I'm saying once more, what we have tell you in the manifesto is what we are going to do. So the manifesto will be our Bible. Not saying everything cast in stone, because sometimes you have to change the route to reach the same destination. But what we will do, the manifesto, just like a Bible, we will use it as our Bible. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you again, and please sit and listen to the presenter who will present our manifesto to you. Thank you.
Just before.
Another round of applause, please, for the full slate. Real, solid action is what we've just heard from our presidential candidate. I must acknowledge Douglas Beckford, grandfather of squash, Mr. Chris Williams, CEO of the Jamaica Premier League, and Chris Stokes, president of the Jamaica Bobsleigh Federation. Thank you all for being here. When I heard you speak about 1998, I mean, that was monumental for Jamaica when we qualified. And when you said we are to qualify for 2026, I got goose pimples all over again. I'm like, wow. And if we win, we could lobby for an entire week off. Just want you to know also that we are streaming live on Instagram, and the handle is naturally Real Solid Action. So be careful what you say and how you behave in the room, all right? It's live. I am now going to ask a gentleman that is well known, very talented, very creative. I wish I could sing like him, but I can't. I heard you, Carol. Carol, I heard you out there. So please put your hands together. We're going to have a little musical entertainment and interlude now before we get the full presentation from Onaji Bell. Dwayne Stevenson, he's ready. Give him a round of applause, please.
Good evening, everyone. I see you're all resolute in your movements forward. This is great. This is what we need. This is what real democracy is about. Isn't it strange how princesses and kings can lose it all like sawdust in the wind? Just like common people like you and me, we'll be builders for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass, and a book of rules. Ba 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 ba. Pa 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 pa. So look when the rain is falling from the sky. Yes, I know the sun will be only missing for a while, but just like common people like you and me, we'll be builders for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass, and a book of rules. Sing with me. Pa 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 pa. Oh, sing it again. Ba 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 ba. Yes, I said common people like you and me will be builders for eternity. Each is given a bag of a shapeless mass and the book of rules. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me. I was destined to be home doing nothing this evening. So it's nice to be here with nice people. With a builder. Exactly. Na 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 na. Whoa, whoa. A word from the wise, don't try to make life on your own. Remember that Georgia's by your side. I was a soul who was lost, and my life was in dismay. For among evil forces in which I played, yeah, guns and ammunition were my chosen way of life. With God-fearing people I chose to strive. Oh, all of the lives that are taken, they could never be replaced. Still, Jaja chose to remember my face. Though I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead, I'm on my bended knees. 'Cause Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. Barely made it along life's road. But when my life got dark, he was the only spark, the light at the end of the road. When I was a young boy, growing up in Augustown, we ate from the same pot. We were hydrants all around, yeah. From Gola to Colorado Corner, Rockers to Jungle 12 Tire, Bryce Hill to Dread Heights and River all around, yeah. And then the football ground became a battlefield, and my life seemed so surreal. People, they were falling all around, but Jah helped me to stand my ground. Only Jah could have helped me to stand my ground. Though I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead on my bended knees. Father, you rescued me, and I've got the scars to show. Barely made it along life's road. When my life got dark, he was the only spark, light at the end of the road. Na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Hey. Well, I've lived and I've learned, made mistakes along the way. So I beg for forgiveness each day as I try to pray. So take it from me, son, you can change the world today. Now I'm living proof that crime does not pay. I never lived like he wanted, I was mindful of what he taught me. So now I beg and plead on my bended knees. Father, you rescued me, I've got the scars to show. Barely made it along life's road, but when my life got dark, Jaja was the only spark. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yes. Thank you very much. Blessed Lord.
I was hoping that he would have had enough time to do his version of From a Little Cottage in the but it didn't happen. All right, we are at the point where we will be given some very important information. It's always good to say that you can and that you will, but you must have a plan of how we will and how we can. So I'm now going to ask Onaji Bell to make the official presentation of the manifesto, Real Solid Action.
Good night, good night. We all good? Mike? All right, sorry. Lord, you have to make everyone know something short. You couldn't just go so. Good night. All right. First of all, I just want to express my wholehearted gratitude to candidate Anderson and his team for allowing me to present this dream, his vision, his manifesto, if you would, for the next presidential election. So, without any more waits, let's get started. Okie doke. So, candidate Anderson says, in his own words, that he presents these words with a vision to propel Jamaican football to new heights. As a candidate for the presidency of the Jamaica Football Federation, I am committed to ushering in a new era of transformation and progress for our beloved sport. Together we can shape the future of football in Jamaica. And believe me, I don't know about you, but I'm very excited about this. Okay, his manifesto focuses on 8 key points. Rebranding Jamaican football, establishing a youth development program, developing women's football, regaining stakeholder trust, investing in fields and infrastructure, establishing local senior elite squads, and finally facilitating and encouraging qualifications. Now, the thing is, once we start with rebranding Jamaican football, it's kind of a thing that everybody throws around. What does it actually mean when you say rebranding Jamaican football? It is essential for the JFF to demonstrate a commitment to improving the sport and fostering a positive and transparent environment to regain public trust and repair its image. Let me tell you a story. How do you feel about match day? Reggae boys playing later. Reggae girls have match tomorrow. What's the vibe? You putting on your colors? Or is the entire city shut down, like Sacramento, California, when the Kings playing? No school? We're all painting our faces purple? What's going on match day? Or we're at work, right? But candidate Anderson says, no, the team is in town. This is a national festival. We are walking and we are smell the soup. And we smell the Bob Marley, we hear the Bob Marley bass line, the doom, 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 and the steer it up, a clap up, and we're walking in the stadium, and drummers on the right, and the Dwayne Stevenson free concert is on the left. Let's not forget the Damian Jr. Gang halftime show. And after we win 4-Love and his beer vibes, right? We need that sort of enthusiasm. I remember seeing it as a child, didn't understand it much. Color-coded, yellow over here, green over here, grandstand is, the place is a vibe. Why? The reggae boys and the reggae girls are in town. We need to create a new energy, a renewed force amongst our populace and amongst our football enthusiasts, that once it becomes match day, we're there in full support. And of course, that starts with trust. That starts with the JFF and the Federation fulfilling their promises and living good to their word. Okay, we're on to youth development. Youth development, that's the thing you say every time you want to say the right thing, right? What we're up to, develop the youths, but what does that mean? How do we achieve that? Where do we start? Now, what excited me most about candidate Anderson's 27-page manifesto is the fact that there was included in this development a central database. As it says here on our slides, a central database will be established to track the development of every youth player in the island's football competitions. This system will enable parish coaches to easily enter and access data, and of course providing a comprehensive overview of player progress and facilitating talent identification. This data-driven approach will be instrumental in making informed decisions regarding player development and of course the efficiency or effectiveness of the program. Now basically what we're trying to say, imagine for a bit, we have a standardized curriculum put together by our technical director. Beneath the technical director administratively, we have maybe 13 to 14 head coaches for each parish. This cannot be done without the parish involvement on all levels, right? Jamaica is an island, right? And these coaches now have other sub-coaches which gets granular on the ground and report to the 13 coaches who then report back to the technical director. And of course it's data-driven. So perhaps we have even an app that we can enter the information. So from our offices, we can track the progress of these youth players. It is not when under 17 coming up and we have to round up a team quick or what we're going to do. And then under 20 camp start and we have to find, no. We have this here and we have been working on it and we have been tracking the players, right? So two things I think is most important that stood out about this. Well, everything was important, but what really stood out to me was the fact that Anderson believes that this app or this data-driven decision-making process is important. Two, the fact that all parishes will be involved, and we can track the players from grassroots coming right up, right? Now, this evening, I think, is about history. This is a pivotal step. This is Candidate Anderson and our team and all our football enthusiasts here saying, no more, time for a change. Now, the Federation, of course, will be responsible for overseeing aspects such as the logistics, the scheduling, and securing sponsorship to ensure these leagues run smoothly. But the U13, the U15, the U17 leagues in every single parish must occur, and it must occur timely. Also, if sponsorship is required, Candidate Anderson says we need to pitch in and make this happen. If grounds need to be maintained for this to occur, we need to pitch in and make this happen. We cannot build a federation without a strong base, without youths coming up to replace these. And what are we doing for the succession plan, right? Very, very important. Local elite squads. Local elite squads, when we think of a local elite squad, what comes to mind? I can tell you, I can move around my lapel on? Lovely. When we think of local elite squads, we think of the Jamaica Football Federation working closely with the Premiership, men and women. I think we'll probably need to establish the Women's League a little bit better, get it running before we can even say that, right? And once we have these leagues, we are identifying the best, pulling them into camp, similar like what we were doing selecting a team. But the point is, why not invest in a local squad that are permanently in camp, actually gets released for games to play with their clubs, and you know, this gentleman is playing right back, and he's a good right back. Well, we have him playing right back too, and we're working with you, coach. We're in constant dialogue, in the same way the manager for the Reggae Boys or the manager for the Reggae Girls would be in constant dialogue with the clubs in which they're a part of to make sure they fit in seamlessly. What is that about? What can that achieve? Well, we sat down with Howard Juicy Bell, who happens to be my uncle, and he walked us through the preparation for the 1998 Reggae Boys squad. And I don't remember the exact number, but I really want to say something over the top, like 70 games were played together. It sounded almost impossible that they played 70 games within almost a year before qualification. And I'm saying, you sure? And he said, yes. We round them up, and granted, some of them were in camp, granted, some of them were in Brazil, but the point is, they gelled. And I strongly believe, and Candidate Anderson strongly believes, that it was this type of approach that led to their qualification. So imagine for a second the best of our island. Boys and girls, male and females, are in camp, exposure, games. We call the big guns, the Nicholsons and the Baileys, when we need them. But right now, we're working on our base. This will do two things. One, increase the talent and the performance in the local premiership. And two, of course, getting more players outside in proper club and training environments in which they can, of course, attract transfer fees for clubs, develop the sport some more. And I think it's a wonderful idea. And it definitely would work in propelling the sport forward. All right, so the part that everybody is waiting for, restoring financial stability. We cannot run an operation without funds and consistent funds, and showing, of course, transparently what we're doing with the funds. Achieving financial stability and sustainable economic growth in Jamaica, or in Jamaican football, sorry, requires a multifaceted approach and the involvement of various stakeholders. We will put as a crucial priority the improvement in the Federation's use of the FIFA Forward project for operations, which is, of course, essentially funding opportunities. This will include coming out of restricted funding, we cannot stress this enough, a proper assessment of our current utilization, significantly improving the reporting and accountability mechanisms, and ensuring our full utilization of what is available to member associations. And of course, this will be a number one priority because the source of funding is way too valuable and accessible for us not to be utilizing it. Now, what exactly is this? We can talk the talk, but we have to go walk the walk. In other words, being unrestricted funding, we were told that we have in excess of about $3 million US for the past couple of years that has not been utilized, that can be put to good use. If we are unrestricted funding and we have not made gestures or measures to correct it, then clearly we're going to be in problems. And if you're talking about millions of US dollars that potentially can be pumped into the Federation that we do not have access to, then clearly you understand that would be in problems. This administration, Team Anderson, plans to repair and correct the FIFA Forward project situation. And why am I stressing this above all? Because it's so much money. You don't walk into KFC and say, beg you $1 million US, no? Trust me, it's gonna work, right? No, that's not million US, that's not happening. But structures are set up for us to access these projects. And of course, it has proven quite viable in the past when we do. In addition to that, we can't say restoring financial stability without talking about the most important thing, which we'll go into later, but which is trust. You have to trust us. Even when we walk in as the new team, we're still carrying the baggage of the old team. So things have to be seen quickly, organized, and so that there is no question about what we're doing. And I think, quite frankly, having read the manifesto over and over, I really believe this is doable with the new team, Team Anderson. Okay, so we are on to, I think I'm having some technical difficulties. All right, we're on to women's football. Now, we've all enjoyed the glory of seeing these women represent us. I know we have not enjoyed the recent articles in the paper and the mishaps and the who and new team and who is not playing, right? We need to get rid of that. We need unity and we need a proper approach. Now, the thing is sometimes it's very difficult to demonstrate a new approach when really and truly you're just doing your job. Sometimes it's difficult to say, oh, this is brand new, but really and truly, we're just asking you to do your job. Develop the sport like how you develop the male sport. Developing women's football in Jamaica involves a series of steps and strategies to foster talent, increase participation, and ensure long-term growth. Now, to build a sustainable women's league by drawing on the clear example of what a league has done to develop some of our current successful players is paramount. An annual league will be placed on set dates on the football calendar we will initiate the formation of a professional football Jamaica Women's League, PFJWL, constituted primarily of club representatives, as it should, and independent directors. Now, the PFJWL would be responsible for the commercial growth of the league and the sustainability of the club's structure. Now, the thing is, we have a whole lot of enthusiastic young girls who are able and willing. I had a sit down with Khadija Bonishaw a couple years ago, and basically she kind of went through what the elements that came together for her to become who she was. And the majority of what I was hearing from Khadija and hearing from other players had to do with playing with boys. I grew up on the corner and I play with the whole of the boy them, and that's why I good. You alone, one girl. Sometimes you go to a competition and it's an under 10 competition, you have several boys, one girl. Where's the girls team? There is no girls team. So if there is no girls team in grassroots and there is no girls team for under 10, under 13, under 15, under 17, where are we headed? Where are we headed? The last initiative, in my opinion, looking on, came from outside help. It came from us appealing to stakeholders who cared. The Bob Marley Foundation, Sidella Marley, speaks for itself, right? But the point is, it was an emergency situation, and it's always an emergency situation. Let's not make an emergency happen. Let's plan for it. We should be looking at the successors right now for the next reggae girls, the next cycle of girls, I should say, who we know and have been playing and we can relate to, rather than only looking international for who have a Jamaican passport that is playing. And we kind of skim at the top and see what we can come up with quickly. Instead, let's foster a proper women's league, a proper program that develops them, that we can track them, much like we've attempted with the males. And for this, of course, Candidate Anderson, I thank you. So, regaining stakeholder trust. That one is normal. Now, this one is pivotal. This one this is the deal breaker, make or break, because without the stakeholders trusting the Jamaica Football Federation, we cannot possibly move forward. And what does it start with? Regaining stakeholder trust and support is crucial for the Jamaican Football Federation, especially in light of recent public discontent regarding the consistent mismanagement of funds and of course, personnel. This situation underscores a broader truth relevant to all developing football nations: the importance of transparency and mutual respect in sports administration. Now, transparency is key, and I am tired, literally, of hearing that that's what we're going to do. We say it so often that I don't even think we understand what it means. Transparency. For argument's sake, we are embarking upon a project that begins January 14th. Let's embark on the project January 14th, like we said. We are asking for sponsorship from for example, a beverage company. Let us do exactly what we discussed with the beverage company with that sponsorship. Let us appear transparent. Let us be real. Let us be trustworthy. When we're bringing in brands and you sit down with brand managers as to what is the nature of the relationship, let's hold true to it. Let's have them be excited. Let corporates say, no. When it comes to JFF, no man, if them say so, it's so. If them say you're getting social media posts and billboard beside them, it's so it's going to go. And if they say they're hosting something for all corporate, they're hosting something for the corporate. We're not planning stuff the night before. We're not making up stuff just so that we don't look bad because of the mistakes. Let's approach this with honesty and a sense of truth. Now, transparency in operations and financial dealings is non-negotiable. Stakeholders need to see clear, honest communication and understand, of course, how funds are being allocated and used. This means regular detailed reporting and perhaps independent audits to ensure that funds are being managed appropriately. Now, having said this, it is not necessarily the easiest of tasks, but it's definitely doable. And it starts with candidate Anderson and his team embracing corporate, embracing all our stakeholders, and showing them that we value them in truth and respect. Okie doke. Trying again. Here we go. Okay, so what exactly is infrastructure? Infrastructure and development. I remember back in the day we would talk about this and we would say that, you know, we need more fields, want to the fields. And people would say, we don't want a field, want to the ball of them. We don't want a coach and But listen. Infrastructure is real. We need quality fields. We need, for when you pass a ball, it actually go to the person and we don't have to count on the stone where I play for we and the stone where I play for him, right? The point is, in the vast landscape of international football, the prominence of a nation often mirrors the quality and accessibility of its footballing structure. For Jamaica, a nation with a fiery passion for the sport, enhancing the development and production of football fields and related infrastructure is a significant stride towards carving a notable presence on the world stage. We will explore why investing in top-notch football facilities can be a game changer for Jamaica's football scenario, both locally and of course internationally. So, let's talk again about our FIFA Forward projects. Let's estimate for a second. Now, one of the things about your funding with FIFA, I am told, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we don't use it this year, you get it next year. And if you don't use it this year or next year, you get it the 2 year them together. So if we organize ourselves, we can, in fact, allocate funds strictly for development. Now, as far as I know, growing up, you're going into a stadium in the United States, it says the Toyota blah, 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 the American Airlines Arena, the this, right? I never see it say US Soccer, nothing, or CBF Brazil Stadium. No, it's a huge corporate entity that owns the stadium and quite often partners with the local club or country as their home. Why we can't get that? When is our turn? We're ready for that? Yeah, I think Candidate Anderson is. I think once there is stakeholder trust, once there is transparency, once we see the entire 14 parishes working together from ground up, then we can start to talk. Then we can say, what about possibly upgrading the national stadium? What about possibly utilizing the stadium in Trelawney? What about building a new stadium? Now, there are various factors to think about. You don't just build a stadium. People have to come in and sit in it, right? And we have to have the people. So clearly, Candidate Anderson has outlined ways of getting a committee of people set up to develop the criteria to see where these needs are. With this type of infrastructure, with this type of money focused on infrastructure, I think at that point it might become easier to say, all right, this year we're choosing 10 to 15 locations across Jamaica. And we will either invest and maintain, build from scratch and maintain, or just lend a helping hand in professionalism and getting the environment ready for these youngsters. So we can then say to ourselves, in every single parish in Jamaica, there are designated areas that has been not necessarily organized by, but at least sanctioned by the Jamaica Football Federation as proper turfs, proper facilities for youths to develop and clubs to play on, thereby clearly propelling our sport beyond measure. Finally, this is the part we get most excited about, qualifications. No matter how we cuss, we love when our team win, don't it? Yeah, man, that changed everything. Team just win and we feel good again. Well, it can't be left to chance. It can't be left to make us see what them do today, no? No, we need a group of people who are focused solely on qualifications. Before the last 6 games played by the reggae boys and the reggae girls, for the past, since the beginning of 2022, we have played 43 games. And after 43 games, we have won 11 of them. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I said this, and the friend said to me, "That's not bad." And I said, one more time. We played 43, 4-3 games, and we won 11. What do you mean that's not bad? Like him I try to say, for Jamaica, right? And I'm saying, no. Candidate Anderson and his team is done with that. We need to establish criteria. We need to establish a team that focuses on the execution. What exactly tactically, technically, administratively is necessary to propel the team forward. We're looking at Gold Cup every year. We're looking at Nations League every year. We're looking at World Cup qualifiers every year. International friendlies, blah, blah, blah. These dates are set on our football calendar, which means we need personnel who are solely focused on what that takes. Coaches having conversations about the competition, reviewing videos about the style of play. It should be a no-brainer every single time for us to come out of our CONCACAF zone. Because we know, for example, we're thinking about USA, we're thinking about Mexico, right? We're thinking about Panama sometimes, right? And of course, this will help us to prepare the team, not just mentally, but technically, and of course, the back end, which is the backroom staff, the administrative staff, to get them there. Now, priority of national teams qualification to all major regional and international tournaments, including the FIFA World Cup. In the world of international football, success is not just measured by the number of goals scored or trophies won. It's about consistently striving for excellence and achieving milestones that reflect the nation's footballing prowess. Now, the Jamaica Football Federation, under the watch of candidate Anderson, will recognize the critical importance of successful qualifications for its national football teams of all gender and age groups to the highest level of regional and international football. We will ensure that by utilizing FIFA and CONCACAF annual calendars, preparation for and participation in major tournaments will be maximized. This will relate to senior and youth teams across both genders. This relates to adequate training time, honoring contractual agreements with players and other participants. Before I leave you, my fellow enthusiasts, there is a story about the reggae boys, young reggae boys, under 17 team that qualified for the 2011 World Cup. One of my favorite stories, in which the boys camped in Brazil for 4.5 weeks. Then the camp was extended for an additional 3 weeks. They stayed Christmas and New Year's in Brazil. The amount of preparation psychologically, academically, because teachers were flown there to teach them, and technically was unprecedented, in my opinion, for a JFF administration. They put their all in those youngsters. I saw the team's manager at the time, who I believe was Roy Simpson, take them to cultural outings, dance, sculptures, art, all kind of thing, and they came back and they qualified in Panama for the World Cup. It was amazing. We thought almost that we didn't believe it. But further to the story, it was not just the qualifying for the World Cup. The real story is that, without naming all of them now, for the first time, in my opinion, we had about 10 to 13 players of that squad go straight into professional football. So it worked. They didn't go back to the high school where they was and it just kind of faded out. No. They became professionals. They took it they took it further. And that was the era of the Alvas Powells, the Kemar Taxi Lawrence, the Omar Holnesses, the Andre Lewis. That was that era. And they all are now, I would think, 10 years into a career. And I thought to myself, wow, we're making the right decision. But it still seemed isolated. It didn't happen after. And it didn't happen for the girls. And it, quite frankly, it never, ever, ever happened again. So let us think structure rather than feeling, vibes, personnel. Let us put things in place that demand success. Just do the right things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. But I really, really, really want to express my gratitude to candidate Anderson for allowing me to convey these words to you. One love.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you call passion. Clearly, there's a science to football. Clearly, there must be something strategic done to have successful football. And I thank you, Onaji Bell, for giving us the breakdown of the actual manifesto that lays out your plans and your intention to make Jamaica's football successful. Thank you. Please give him another round of applause. Well, this is not in your program. Ha ha ha. Candidate Anderson, please, may I ask you to come to the stage? It's okay. It's a good surprise. Adam Cummings, I saw you here earlier. Where are you? He just went out? Please have him come. And Avery Campbell, where are you? Avery Campbell. Please let us just, yes, please, I know. I've just sprung it on you. Could you? Let me know if we have, he's not? All right, I should be moving out of here, but may I have the, so we thought that it would be important to have a symbolic act that shows continuity, that shows a new beginning, potentially, with the passing of this ball to the younger generation that says that our football is alive, Jamaica has so much more to give, and we no, I know.
Sorry, was that a question about the deflated ball? Oh, there's a reason for that. So you see, he's passing them this ball for them to infuse it with their own spirit and freshness and new breath.
Thank you very much. So you just hand this over, and it will be more than likely very ready on Sunday, January 14, when you all go to vote for real, solid action. No, really, you keep the ball, I'm watching you guys. Yes, it's in your ownership until then. For the photos, yes. Thank you so much, candidate Anderson. You can take a seat. I'd like to now call Mr. Keith Wellington to give us the vote of thanks. Yeah, we're like finished. Oh, sorry, I thought you guys were already like that manifest. Please forgive me, because I got it like, okay, great. Any questions that you'd like to ask our candidate? Do we have a microphone in the audience? Yes, may I have it, please? Also, on that note, the manifesto will be available electronically for anyone who wants it to go through it in your own time. It was quite solidly presented. All the steps, all the strategies, all the resources that will be required. Again, it will be available electronically for you to go through in your own time. I now ask Mr. Keith Wellington to come and do the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Fiona. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to move away a little bit away from the script carol. So let me start by saying I thought that when Raymond was doing the introductions of his slate and he was introducing me, he would have told you that when he approached me, I told him that, boy, I'm willing to help, but I'm not interested in the politics. I can't manage the politics part, so I don't know how I'm going to get the vote because I tell him I can't even promise him Issa's vote. So I'm supposed to do the vote of thanks, but I'm going to ask him to come and do what he is supposed to do.
Thanks again, Sir Wellington. So, we heard it all. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm appealing again to our stakeholders to ensure that get this team in, and I promise you, all you heard about the manifesto, we will ensure that it really implemented. And I can tell you also again, when you looked at the team, colleagues, and I'm appealing to our voters, don't really just be business as usual. Think out of the box. Think about this team that presented to you. We will change the whole. We are the game changers. And we are asking, and I'm appealing to you again. The island, the 56 votes, please, help us to help you. History will be very unkind to you if you don't really get this RSA team in office. Thank you.
Again, staying a little bit away from the vote of thanks script. So your experiences make you who you are. And as a principal, one of the challenges we have is with parenting. So many times we have PTA meetings and you have a PTA meeting for, let us say, the grade 10 students, and there are 315 students in the grade, but only 40 parents turn up. One of the things that we have to do is to remind those 40 parents that you are the ones who are here because you believe in what you are doing, what we are doing. But remember that you come and you listen to us and you go home and you speak with your children and you get them to do what they have to do, but you have a greater responsibility because the other 270 students whose parents are not here, they have something to do with how your child will behave. So you have a responsibility to go back to your community and say to the other 270 parents that this is what happened at school today, this is what your child should be doing, this is the support that you should be giving the school. So I'm saying to you who are here that you're here because you believe in us, but if you have a vote and you turn out and vote for us, that's nice. But what is going to be even more important is that those who are not here because either they don't know about what is happening or they are not yet in support of us, you have a responsibility to go and influence them so that those 56 votes are not 13 votes multiplied by 4. You know what that means? You have a responsibility to make sure that the incumbents do not go and each of them find 3 other votes and end up with 45 votes or whatever number of votes, win the election when it is really just 8 people voting 4 times or whatever times. And I'm dead serious. All right? So you, each of you here, if there are 10 of you here who have a vote, your responsibility is to get 2 other persons to vote with you based on what you have heard. We're not begging you to vote on sentiments. As Raymond said, history has a way of treating people the way they behave. And the truth is, if there's anyone here or outside who can honestly say that they are happy with Jamaica's football and the road that it is on, then fine, go ahead and vote the other way. But if you believe that something needs to change, you can't expect that change to come from the same set of persons who have held custody of the reins for the last 6 years. So now I want to thank you. Carol, let me look at Carol's list. Yes. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I tell people all the while, I'm not a politician. What I always try to do is the right things all the time. I know I might not get it right all the time, but I try. Popularity is not my thing, because I'm going to have to tell you the truth all the time, and I'm going to always try to do the right things, and we know that sometimes the right things, not necessarily the popular things. But it's easier to live that way. It's a lot easier to live that way, because integrity, that is how you maintain integrity. Absolutely. All right? So I want to thank everyone, and I want to, Fiona is eager to come back and take the microphone. So I'm not going to thank, I'm going to wait to thank you last. All right? I want to thank everyone who turned out today to listen to what I thought was an excellent launch, an excellent presentation. All of that took place because of a number of persons who would have contributed, and I want to start with Ricky and his team, Ricky Chin and his team, the staff at Courtly for allowing us their space and allowing us the opportunity to be here and to have such a delightful environment. We're really comfortable and in keeping with the standards that I think the RSA team wants to establish at the JFF. The presenters, Sir Bill, Onaji. Where's Onaji? Right. I think you did a really good job in presenting the manifesto. I know that there are some persons in the past. There are some persons in the past who would have promised manifestos when they get in office, and we are yet to see it. I know we'll see one before the 14th of January now, right? I want to thank His Reverend our Father, Archbishop, for leading us in the correct way. I thought that your message, your prayers, was really in keeping with what we hope to do, and we are certain that your words will allow us to get the blessings that we will need and the guidance that will ensure that we deliver on our promises. Dwayne Stevenson, thanks for the free. I'm going to thank him for the promised free concert at the game. All right. Thanks. I want to make sure that I don't. I'm going to follow the script. I'm going to follow the script now, just to make sure that I don't leave out anyone. I want to also thank. I know that everybody in here, especially those who are a part of the football, you spend a lot of time away from your families, and if we are to be successful and be given this awesome responsibility to guide Jamaica's football, we are going to depend even more on our families. So I want to thank the families of everyone for their support and for the fact that you have allowed us or given us permission to put ourselves up as an option for Jamaica's football. All the viewers on YouTube and Instagram, thank you very much for listening, for viewing, and you also have the responsibility of spreading the word, because we are all going to be in this as a part of the RSA team. It's not going to be the 11 or 12-man executive. It has to be all of us on board. It's all of us that is going to take the responsibility to rebrand Jamaica's football. So thank you very much for being here, and
Fiona, thank you very much for guiding us through this evening's proceedings. You did an excellent job. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Keith. So, are we ready for real solid action? No, man. Oh, boy. Are we ready for real solid action? And Jamaica 2026. Oh, yes, yes, yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for the time. Thank you for sharing in this very important moment with the entire RSA team. I'm Fiona Fennell, and we are finished, and refreshments are to the back. Thank you.